Hello everyone and welcome to the Rift. Today we have a bunch of new cards. That's right, it's reveal season and we are getting a ton of new cards to look at and to play with. There's a lot to talk about today, so let's just jump right into it. But first, if you want to stay up to date with card reveals, then you'd better make sure to subscribe. And if you're enjoying the content, then make sure to like this video. And if you want to start playing Riftbound right now, then you can, using the resources provided in the video description. Alright, just a few new cards today. We've got some pretty good ones. This is Blue Ahri. She's a 3 energy, 1 power unit with 3 might. When I attack or defend, give an enemy here -2 might this turn to a minimum of 1. Yeah, I think this card's pretty good. It has essentially like 5 might of offensive or defensive power. So for 3 energy, that's pretty good. Pretty nice unit for attacking a battlefield. And if she lives, she can hold it pretty well too. In combination with Ahri's legend effect, that's a total of -3, so that's going to be pretty tough to crack. I think this probably just replaces your chosen champion of the chosen champion zone in Ahri, because green Ahri is really bad. Green Ahri is pretty much just a 4 might vanilla or 5 energy and a power until her effect actually does something, so that stat line is terrible for that cost. I think green Ahri is very win more. She's really only useful when you're already winning the game, and Blue Ahri essentially does a better job at taking and holding battlefields for a lower cost. So I think you just replace her with this. I don't know about playing more copies in the deck. I find that this is probably just enough. You don't really need that many 3-drops, so just having this as a consistent 3-drop that you can put down whenever you need to is pretty good. I don't know if you really want to play more copies of this in your deck. You might, but you may run into issues with space as well. You could probably sideboard more copies of this. That might work, but I think for now I'm just happy with playing one of her in the chosen zone, and that's probably it. She's not that crazy of a unit, she's just pretty decent, pretty good stat line for her cost. So yeah, Ahri definitely wants to play this in her deck. Kaisa also definitely wants to play this. Kaisa can struggle with taking and holding battlefields. Her units really aren't that good, so this gives you both some aggressive pushing power and some defensive power as well, which is really nice. I think you just slam 3 of these into Kaisa right now. Pretty good card for her. Teemo, I think, also wants 3 copies of this, because with Teemo, you really don't have much aggressive pushing power, and this gives you some, and Teemo really wants to hold as well. So I think this card just fits pretty nicely in that deck too. Yeah, overall, just pretty good card. Nice, solid stat line for its cost. Next one we have is Trifarian Glory Seeker. It's a yellow unit that costs 2 and has 2 might. It's got Legion, when you play me, buff me. Pretty good card. We really don't have many good 2-drops right now, at least in terms of units, so anything that helps is really nice. The game right now is pretty heavily lacking in the 2-drop unit department, so anything we can get is honestly great. Darius really loves this card. Just add 3 of those to Darius right away. Leona probably also wants to play this too. She really doesn't have many 2-drops right now. So yeah, pretty good card. Definitely playable. Nothing too crazy to say about it. It's just solid. Mistfall. This is a body gear for 3 energy. When you buff a friendly unit, you may pay a power and exhaust this to ready it. That's a pretty nice effect. I think Lee Sin is going to get a lot of usage out of this. That deck is pretty slow right now and loses really hard in the early game, especially to decks like Jinx or Darius or even Victor. So having ways of accelerating your attacking potential is really nice, and it's extremely consistent to do it too, because Lee Sin's legend buffs things. Yeah, overall, I think this is a great card for Lee. You probably want to play at least 2, probably not 3, maybe 3. I can see drawing 2 of this not being that great. Maybe Set wants to play this too. Set is really demanding for buff generators right now. You really only have 1, and that's not much. Maybe you could play 2 of this in your deck and it would be fine. Definitely not 3 right now though. You really don't want to draw 2 of these. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good card. Pretty nice effect to have in slower decks like Set and Lee Sin that take a while to set up and really get their engine online and going. So yeah, this this helps you take back a bunch of points if you want, or start trading faster too in the mid to late game, which is really nice. After you've lost out on a bunch of points to your opponent because your deck is pretty slow, you can start taking them back. Yeah, pretty good card. Probably a lot of neat plays you can do with this card and stuff like Charm and other cards. Speaking of Set and Lee Sin, we've got Udyr. He is a 6 energy and 1 orange power body unit, champion unit with 6 might. Pretty good stat line already. You can spend his buff and choose one of the following that you haven't already chosen this turn. Deal 2 to something at a battlefield. That's an okay effect. Stun at a unit at a battlefield. That's pretty good. That's an effect that Lee Sin just didn't have access to before, which is really nice. You can ready him, which is very good. You can give him ganking, which is really good as well. Yeah, this is an extremely versatile card with a good stat line, so I think this card will definitely see play in Lee Sin. Maybe in Set as well, but again, Set really isn't hurting for buff payoff. He is really hurting for buff generation, so this card, again, doesn't really fix that problem. But in Lee Sin, this card is really good. You can essentially just accelerate him out, which is nice. Again, this lets Lee take even more points and start attacking with stuff right away when you play things, giving you potential to trade a bunch more or just accelerate your point grabbing, which is really nice because Lee Sin, again, loses on points really hard in the early game. I think you definitely want to play 3 of these, probably 3. Maybe you could argue 2, but I definitely think you want to be playing 3 of this guy. This guy is really good in Lee Sin. And again, you have guaranteed access to a buff every turn, so this card is always going to be able to get its effect off, which means it's very consistent. You don't have to combo it with anything else you want to draw, but if you do happen to draw other things that combo with it, then it just gets better. So yeah, I think with these 2 new cards for Lee Sin, that deck may actually be playable now. It was struggling really heavily especially to decks that take a bunch of points in the early game. You really just can't deal with being at like a 4-point deficit. That just is not really something you can come back from. But now you actually might have ways of coming back from that. You're still going to go behind a lot of points in the early game as you set up your engine with Lee Sin and other stuff, and now Udyr as well, but now you might actually have a potential to make comebacks during games, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I think Lee Sin is actually potentially a decent deck now. We'll have to see if that's actually true or if that's just coping, but I think he definitely has potential now with these 2 new tools. They help fix a pretty big issue that the deck was facing. So yeah, I think Lee Sin's quite a bit better now. In terms of playing this in other decks, I really don't see it. Maybe you could play this in Set, but and Volibear probably doesn't want this card. You just can't get buffs in that deck, so it really doesn't do anything. And Misfortune, I also really don't think you want this card. You really don't have buff generators in that deck, like at all. So for now, yeah, I think this is probably just a Lee Sin card. Still a very good card though. We'll definitely see play. Alright, that's all we have for today. I'll be posting a ton more videos on card reveals in the future, as well as live streaming gameplay and my live reactions to new cards, all throughout the course of reveal season. So if you want to keep up to date with new card reveals, then you'd better hit that subscribe button. And of course, if you want to start playing Riftbound, you can do so right now with the links in the video description. Alright, that's about all I wanted to say today. Take care.